Nothing to see here. Go ahead and move along. The full Durham report is out. 4-year college degrees. They're not like they used to be, but don't bash it quite yet. And a lifetime love is put into photography. Welcome back. Thanks for stopping by. Before we get started, go ahead and click that like button, click that subscribe button, click that notification bell, and then share this with all your friends so that everybody can get on the two hands and a foot bandwagon. Let's get going. So John Durham now has his full report out, which just basically lets us know that everything that we knew following the 2016 election about the Russiagate scandal and all of that, that all that we knew about it being a fraud was true. And the fact that the FBI, that was in collusion with the current administration to derail their political rivals' candidacy for the office of president. So why is there nothing new here? Because, as always, there are not going to be any prosecutions done. That's just the way the government works. And it irritates a lot of us because blatant crimes were committed here and no one is being held accountable. I mean, they're not even throwing out anybody to be a scapegoat. No one's being held accountable for this collusion against the person that they were saying was in cahoots with Russia. And everybody and their grandmother knew it was a lie, yet they still pushed it. The media pushed it. And their mea culpas now are even just not even, they're half-hearted. Oh, we may have said something, we may have misspoke. No, flat out lied. And the FBI, crooked from top to bottom, so to speak, in their collusion with it and going after a legitimate candidate for the office of president, and not a single thing's being done. Now, why is that? Here is my thought. The left knows full well that they can commit any crime they want and get away with it because the right is scared. And the right is scared because they know that at any point in time they want to actually go after a real crime, the left will make up whatever they want to go after the right, and the left has the power of the media behind them. So it doesn't matter if it's true or false. As in the case of the Russia collusion hoax, people still think that's true, and the evidence overwhelmingly is proven that false, and added to the fact that it was a purposefully done criminal event. And yet there are still people on the left who think, no, Russiagate actually happened because of the media. And the right knows that the left will use the media to push whatever agenda it needs to push. And so the right is scared of having to go into that fight every single time. That it's scared to prosecute something of this magnitude. Something of this magnitude, the right is scared to prosecute because the left will come at them for any other made-up, trumped-up crap story they want to put out there. And they have the media's backing. That's why we'll see no change. Until someone can get the cojones to go out there and start throwing these people in jail and throwing away the key and forgetting about them, letting them rot there in jail for this stuff, it's not going to change. If any of us normal people, I say normal as in not governmental, and I say not governmental as in not elected officials, if any of us did that at all, anything close to something like that, in our jobs, we'd be fired. And probably had charges pressed against us. So if I were being considered for a promotion, and so did someone else, one of my other colleagues was being considered for promotion, and I trumped up this story that this person was involved in drugs and distribution of all that type, and the cartel. I'll throw in that in there as well, and I had everybody in my corner spreading that rumor to the rest of the hiring board. We get there, and even though I'm less qualified, I get the job. And then 2 weeks later, it's found out that I lied. Intentionally lied. That I made up the story. I promoted the story just so that I can get the job. Not only would I be fired, not just demoted and put back to my old position, I'd be fired from my job and probably had both criminal and civil cases brought against me. So why is that not the case here? This report's come out. We've already known this to be true from the very beginning of it, yet nothing's being done. We need to fix that. We need to fix that soon and swiftly. Rip it off like a Band-Aid. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt, but we need to clear out some of these good old boy system type of places and get a fresh start in there with people who actually care about law and truth, and get rid of this crap that's infested into the judicial system, the justice system. We need to get that out of there. We can't keep doing that and then expecting people to live with those consequences. If we can't depend on our justice system to do the right thing when it comes to matters of in-home stuff, what's to say we're going to trust our government with outside of our country issues? We have enough issues with that already as we deal with things today. Moving on. I recently heard a couple of podcasts, a couple of videos on the worthlessness of a 4-year college degree. And then I also heard one about the success story of someone who didn't have to go to college. Kind of promoting, not necessarily bashing a college degree, but not necessarily promoting going to college, but doing it his way. And I couldn't find the original video of the bashing 4-year college degrees. But I will say this. Don't bash 4-year degrees. I'll put it simply like that. I understand this person's point of view, that the state of higher education today is not what it used to be even 20 years ago, definitely not 100 years ago, where a higher academic degree was seen as prestigious, and it was something to inspire people to do better. It is something to aspire to, as far as getting better themselves. And so the emphasis doesn't need to be placed on not getting a college degree. Now, I will say this. There are people who aren't fit to go to college. And that's not anything bad about them. They're built differently. They're geared differently. They excel at things far better than things that I can do. And that's because we're all integrated. And so we need people who know how to work on things with her hands better than I can. I can follow directions, but I don't have the experience or the knack for that kind of work. I have to follow directions. I can't just do things on the fly with fixing things. I have to have a set of directions, and if it doesn't fit with the directions to what I'm doing, I get lost sometimes. And so I need people around me who know how to do those types of things. And so, take for example my mother. My mother says she's the dumbest person in our house. My father has a couple of master's degrees. My brother has a master's degree. I've got a double bachelor's. And my mother, I would say, is probably one of the smartest people that I know. Not just in my family, but one of the smartest people that I know. Is because she can think and see things in real time that a smart person like me has difficulty doing. Her dad, my grandpa, used to drive buses with broken clutches back when they had manual transmissions, and he used to do that just fine. And he had a garage full of fix-it stuff. Every tool, excuse me, every type of thing you can add to whatever, any type of item you needed to fix something with, he had it. Hinges, screws, bolts, screwdrivers, saws. I mean, he had it all in there, and he taught all 5 of his kids, my mother included, to work with their hands. And my mother can see things that need to be fixed and fix them without having to stress and worry about it. Because she had that kind of a mindset. She has that kind of a mindset. And so we used that often. And so not just for technical things, but in life itself. And so, yes, my mother only has a high school diploma for her education, but she's one of the smartest people that I know. I, on the other hand, I'm a very intelligent individual. I went to a 4-year school. My brother, well, he did a 5-year program, and then he's got his master's. My dad, 2 master's degrees on top of his bachelor's. And so, very, very intelligent individuals. Plenty of smart people all the way around. And so, don't bash college degrees. What I would say is this, is make the emphasis where it needs to be on. That these college degrees that we have at these big name, or I'll use the phrase brand name universities, UCLA, University of Indiana, Florida University, any university that I would say touts a leftist agenda would be able to fit into that category there. And so they're expensive. They're really expensive. For the return that you get, I don't think. But they're also touting leftist agendas. But that doesn't mean that every single college or university is spouting off leftist agendas. I beg to differ. I went to a 4-year college. And I always like to joke about this. I actually got paid $50 to go to college. After graduation, I ended up getting a check in the mail. I guess where the balances came across, $50 was too much over in my account, so they sent me a $50 check. I went to a work-study program. So while I was averaging 18 credit hours a semester while playing varsity sports, I worked 20 hours per week during the school year, plus working an extra week during one of the breaks. And then I worked my butt off during the summer to help even that gap. So, student loans, where? I have a college degree that I'm not paying for that is useful. Well, are you in the field that you went to college for? Well, my I majored in criminal justice and sociology, and I came out of college and I went to become a police officer. So I sort of did that, but now I'm no longer in civilian law enforcement. The thing is this, is that throughout my 4 years, though, I learned a lot of things that a lot of people still don't have a handle at 19, 20, 21 years old. I learned a lot about how to use prioritization, organization, teamwork, responsible actions. I graduated with honors. I didn't just skate through. I graduated with honors, and again, 18 credit hours a semester. We're working 20 hours per week. So you do all of that math, and I graduated with a 3.57, 5.7 GPA. It's not the best in the world, but it's far cry from the worst. And I'm glad I went and I graduated from a 4-year school. I'm glad I did. There are schools out there. There are schools out there that are well worth the time and the effort and, yes, the money to attain that 4-year degree. Higher education is something to which people need to aspire still. You can be as hardworking as you want, but if you sound like a complete idiot because you can't construct a thought, but you're talented, you end up looking like LeBron James. He barely graduated high school for the sole fact that he could play basketball. But he does not have an ounce of smarts in his brain. None. But he's got talent. Does that define success? He's making hundreds of millions of dollars. Yeah, I guess you could call that success. But I know that Boxer Rocks has more brains than he does. I would rather be intelligent than him. Enough about him, but the thing is a 4-year college degree, yes, it's not like it used to be. As far as something to esteem, something to aspire. But it's still valuable. It still has its worth. So maybe we need to start focusing on the fact that there are places still that can put together a program that is worthwhile, that has meaning still. It's been almost 20 years. It's been 18 since I've graduated college. And I still to this day am proud of where I went to school. And proud of the work I did in being there. So I went to school in a I think we were maybe 2,000 students, but in Southwest Missouri, in a town just nestled around Branson, Missouri, called Point Lookout, college named College of the Ozarks. And beautiful campus, absolutely top-notch academics, top-notch professors, and I enjoyed every moment of my 4 years there. And so the issue is this, is don't bash the 4-year degree. Now, the second video I watched was of this guy named Tim Pool, and he has his own YouTube channel, and I've got the link there in the description. He pushes his story of dropping out of high school, and now he's this big, successful businessman. Good, great, grand. I'm not bashing that at all. But I'm saying is that it's not as common as we may think. We see him, and we may see a handful of others, but for every handful of that others, we see thousands who don't succeed because they don't have what it takes. And so be cautious when you see success stories like that. Cheer them on. Tim Pool, go. I love watching your videos. He's very, very honest in his takes on things so far that I've seen. It's been a couple of weeks, and so I like his videos. I like the way he comes at things. So don't get me wrong. That video I liked. One of his main things is work hard, keep working, and then work harder. That's one of the things he stressed in that video that I watched, and it's excellent advice. College of the Ozarks' unofficial nickname is Hard Work U. You work for your college education. Like I said, I work 20 hours a week. Now I think they have you work less, but they structure the summer different, or somehow they do that. But you work for your education. You work, and you work hard for your education. They have people who work in the dairy farms. They have people working processing. They have people who all over campus. There's jobs all over campus that you work in. You work hard to get your education. So that's what Tim Pool is saying, is you got to work hard. You got to keep working, and you got to work harder. Don't stop working. And so I like that attitude that he has in that video, because he doesn't bash degrees. He didn't need to go get one. Great. Awesome. Good for him. Keep it up. Be the example that you are. But what I'm saying is, in contrast to what he said, what was said the other day about bashing four-year degrees and them being worthless, he didn't say this. There's a difference. Not all college degrees are worthless. Some of these brand name universities who are going after the leftist agenda, yeah, those are worthless. But you can still get a good four-year degree, and again, four-year degrees should be something to which people should be aspiring, because higher education is nothing to laugh at. We need higher education in this country. So I liked Tim Pool's video. I think he did a great job with it. Four-year college degrees. I had a great time with it. If it's for you, it's for you. If it's not for you, it's not for you. Mike Rowe is a really good example of, or a good proponent for trade schools. We need people in trades. We need people from all walks of society and every different educational levels and experience levels mix in and get their 2 cents in. But find where you're at and find what you are inclined to, and then go for it. If a higher education is what you're inclined to, go for it. If working with your hands and going to trade schools is what you're inclined to, then go for it. If getting a degree and then going and getting the experience and being the example of from the ground up, go for it. There's nothing wrong with any of those routes. Nothing wrong with any of those routes. Do it. Go for it. Get on with your bad self, as they say. I could go on and on about education. I'm a big proponent of higher education. There's nothing wrong. You can't get enough education. Whether it's formal or informal, you can't get enough of it. So keep learning, everybody. The ocean. Now, I have stepped foot in 2 different oceans. The Atlantic Ocean and the Indian Ocean in my time. And so the ocean is a beautiful thing. An absolutely beautiful, beautiful thing. If you have a chance to watch National Geographic's documentaries of the ocean and all that, I encourage you to do so. I came across this article in the Epic Times about a man named Aaron Chang. Now, Aaron Chang lives in Carlsbad, California, and he's been a lifetime ocean enthusiast. He learned how to swim and surf at a very young age, and in high school he took up photography, and even won awards for his photography in high school regarding the ocean. And he's got some pictures that he recently put out that are absolutely astonishing. Absolutely astonishing. And so I love photography. It's one of my hobbies. I'm not a professional at it by any means, but I love photography. But so when I see articles like this, I like to just open them up and read them because it's something pleasant, it's something cool, it's something unique, and it's something that catches my eye and it piques my interest. And so I like to look at these photos. And so he's got some photos in this article that the article has that they're showing, and I've got his website link in the description as well. And so, amazing photos. Take a look. They're absolutely amazing photos here. And so, if you think about just the amount of work and effort that it takes to get these photos taken, it's a lot of effort, a lot of work. The timing has to be absolutely perfect, or you don't get it. And so you got to try again the next day or what have you. But he does a great job of collecting these photos and putting them together. And so I just wanted to show you these, to share these with you, share the article with you, and to let you know that there is still good out there in the world being done, and passion being shown and presented in a whole new light. And I just wanted to shine a light on this. Well, he's 66 years old. On this man who has a lifetime love, and he's put it in photos. And now his son does ocean photos as well. And so here's I just showed you a couple of them, but you can go check out the article and look into it. So Aaron Chang, more power to you. I want to keep seeing these photos. And if any of you have photos that you've taken of the ocean or of any photos in general of nature, I'm a big nature photo guy. Go ahead, put them in the description. I'd love to see them. What you got? And so just take a look at this article, look at the photos, enjoy, and have a relaxed ending of our time together for this episode. So that's all I have for today. As always, my description carries the links for everything. And so enjoy the rest of your day, however it is, whenever it is that you're watching this, enjoy it, and I'll catch you on the flip side.